Hello, welcome. This is the Daily Dharma. My name is Dina. Thank you so much for joining today. Want to kind of come in, take a seat by the fire, cozy in, we're setting the vibe. Conceiving of one's own power. Pluto has been taking the spotlight in our readings quite a bit lately. I did get a good pre-shuffle in here, so let's just do a little bit. Now we have discernment, the right use of our power feeds into how we feel and the resulting fallout from any actions we've taken or not taken. Cosmic flower. All right, we have the power to create greater success in our life, and that tells me there's some kind of energetic glow up that's in our hands here. Let's see. Divine feminine, again. So are we talking about the Plutonian divine feminine? Under the deck, we still have cosmic flower. I'm just going to take a little pause. Let's see what we have presiding over the reading. Still no Kuan, just Kuan Yin here, Amaryllis Lute and Bamboo Moon. Let's take the one off the top here too, because that is a Kali card. If we can get just one. Kali Mahamaya. It's a beautiful card. It seems to be cleansing in the waters, reflecting upon oneself, seeing oneself in the mirror. And Maya is about the good that comes back to us, is it not? No, Maya. Maya is the illusion. Let's take a peek at that one. So some type of illusion, some type of reflection here. We had the number 3 card yesterday as well. So there's a progression already in the works. Kali Mahamaya is Kali Ma, the spiritual truth beneath all appearances. That's right. Yesterday's card was talking about looking below the surface for incremental growth, and the steps that we're taking are paying off. We are creating an influence, but because we're so close to what we want to influence and affect, and because we're there looking at it day in and day out and not speculating, but spectating, there's something that we're watching, that we're looking for movement on and over analyzing the impact that we're having. But when we can clue into the subtle flow of the energies below the surface, that's when we get our clues to what's really at play. All right. She's revealing the truth behind all appearances, the healing waiting to be discovered in all experiences. In harmony with your higher self, she manifests the path upon which you can best learn, heal, and grow. She's unclothed, symbolizing wild, unconditioned authenticity. She's the empowerment to discard conditioning and judgments that we've worn. Cast off the fearful constraints others have imposed upon you. Connecting to your authentic being will attract healing, guidance, and divine grace to you now. So yesterday we had the 3. Here we have the 4, cleansing off, shedding the skins of what was before. And the amaryllis lute, we have the 3 and the 4 together. So it's like amaryllis lute talks about the upgraded vibration, the clarity of sound and tone and quality that comes through when we're speaking from alignment and from truth versus when we're overreaching, over speculating. There's an image of what we're saying, thinking, and believing and acting upon coming from our center. Then when we're in our aligned center, then all that is can kind of come up through those energetic channels and exchange correctly. That Shakti and that Shiva energy coming and coursing through us and recirculating our power from within, where when we're not connected to that center, then the tone of our voice becomes differently. There's a different tone that comes through. Bamboo Moon talks about things that happen very slowly, very slowly, very slowly, and then all at once. Bam, it shoots up overnight. And under that is Drink from the Emerald Fountain, which is a gorgeous card also. And Princess of the Autumn Harvest. I like this one. It's as though by nurturing ourselves in new ways, especially internally, and by shedding what does not belong, cleansing, clearing daily if you need to, then there's this potential to bloom in a new way, to find that center. The frequency of Cosmic Flower activates our remembrance of the place we call home, even if that is the inner temple, and if you don't subscribe to anything beyond the self. The home would be the higher internal spark and flame of divinity, the core from which we pour our magnificence out into the world. So let's get a couple more. Compassion, we've seen this one come up a few times recently. Transition, change has definitely been in the air, and Pluto is the great transformer. Transforming the divine feminine with greater compassion, understanding, and coherence. So I enjoy coherence. That supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. So, yeah, we were talking about our ability to build something in the last few days, and the understanding of when we're centered, then the heart and the mind are in alignment because they're aligned with the core and the center of self, which is some type of a harmonic octave of the divine within our lives. So the bottom card wants to stay down to show empowerment is right behind this. So it's a powerful activation because if you haven't heard me talk about this before, Cosmic Flower to me talks about the double helix view, the top-down view of our DNA strands and structures. And it's blooming in that way through the empowerment of our energy. And there was a card that came in the pre-shuffle that was showing a red ball of energy superimposed upon some coins that were to represent the various chakra wheels. And it was interesting to me that the discs of the chakras were shown with their emblem, but upon a hard disc, very immovable, the stone that its evolution is almost imperceptible unless it's in direct pathway of some type of water or sand that will erode the surface. The stone takes a long time to transform. And it's this red ball of energy talking about how that activated Kundalini, that red energy is activated and rising up and shaking loose all of the various energy centers in our makeup that are holding various ideas, concepts, behaviors, habits, patterns, residues, things that are not ours, perhaps the ancestral pathways, the socialized pathways, this feeling of overly identifying with our journey and our responsibility. There's all of these mayas and illusions that are infiltrating and overtaking the influence of where we're at, how we're feeding into all that is. And there's a judgment that we're overcoming here by cleansing through. It's as if to say, all right, I have worried about everything that could potentially come up. And even when it does, worrying about it doesn't make it better. Even if it doesn't, worrying about it was a waste of my time. And it is, it's a waste of our energy. So there's something here happening that is going to empower our energy through when we cleanse, when we clear, when we're focused, and when we're showing up for ourselves in some type of a balanced and I don't want to say habitual in that type of a way, but it is. When 11:11 when I looked up, when we show up in a regular series of times and do a similar thing and make space for something, then it comes to fruition. So small, consistent steps, even with connecting with yourself, your higher self. Even if you only have 5 minutes, you can program yourself to be 5 minutes equals 1 hour. Let me sit in this pocket of timelessness and repair my body and spirit, and let those energies continue to work through my vessel and through my energy all day, all night, for the next month. Program your energy. So I'm splitting the deck to the wall, obstacles. What's keeping us from deeply connecting with this space? And I do think it's some anxieties, it's some nervousness, it's a fear threshold, but all of these things are also the illusionary Maya. I mean, they could be very real, but what is changed by our focus upon what's wrong? Only focusing on more and being hyper vigilant to everything that's wrong. Where if we switch our perspective to the understanding of heart and mind, it's like, well, in my heart, I know that out of 100 times that I've fallen, I've gotten up 101 times, and maybe I'll fall again. Inevitably, I'll fall again, but I know how to get back up. That's obviously the symbol, but here it is. The courage to step into life has been on the bottom of the deck from the pre-shuffle. I love that there's this lightning bolt energy going into the core of this bird, perhaps the heart chakra. And if you could see in the camera, all of the feathers of this seemingly black but iridescent crow raven bird, all of those feathers on in this light side over here are peacock feathers. And so it's talking about how we emerge from the darkness that others would see us as, the stereotypes. Everyone is unique. We all have that unique fingerprint. So as similar and alike as we can be, there's this courage to step into our own unique center, not to continue to just flow, because yes, flow is great, surrender is great, but there's also this saying that I've shared before that only dead fish go with the flow. So the path of least resistance can be great when we're trying to listen, when we're trying to find guidance, but our guidance will equally say, oh, well, here's a branch sticking out that you can grab onto and jump out of the river so you don't get your fingertips all pruny, right? Get out of the water once in a while. The waters are deep. The psychic waters are intense. And sometimes it is good to jump out and to be out of the depths, out of our psychic senses, because sometimes it can really overwhelm and eclipse our connections to things like friendships, partnerships, collaboration energy, because it tends to draw us deeper and deeper into the abyss of self, where when we're connected with that core of what makes us individuals and different, then we find what our niche is, what the meaning and the purpose is behind it. It's the ability to both comprehend, respect, and and um, and harmonize with the divine feminine messages in our life. So the wall here, the obstacle, is perhaps witnessing when the path of least resistance is kind of shut off, and now we need to try something different. Our tools, the tools came up in the pre-shuffle. The tools we've been working with need to be sharpened in some cases. Some of them need to perhaps be retired and replaced with new upgraded tools. So perhaps there's we've been talking about go-to emotions or energetic responses or stereotypical belief patterns that when we see something, we typecast this individual or we limit this situation. That has nothing to show me. I've seen all I need to see because that's whatever. But everything is different when we look below the surface level of appearances. When we look into the reflection, it's not about the skin suit. It's not about wrinkles and gray hair or a few extra pounds or not enough muscle or luscious locks or whatever that might come to mind. Those are all physical attributes, which definitely seems to be coming up because there's this bloom. And the crone card came up recently too. And so it seems like part of that is going on as well. Like maybe there's a change of life. And even if that's a change of circumstance, whether you're the youth that's now having to leave the nest and go to college, or going from one state of being in a cooperative arrangement or a supportive arrangement and going it alone, or stepping into a new opportunity, something new that's challenging, that's helping us to shift gears from one level into the next level and surpassing the fear threshold, understanding how we've got this. So transition is 43, and courage to step into life, that perfect storm raven card, is the 44. So it's like this transition might be force. It's almost like those paddles, the heart zapping paddles, and they're like clear, boof, and then the heart is jolted awake. So there's a transition at hand that we can be feeling challenged by. It feels something. I'm seeing under the deck was peeking out, vanishing mirror, ego sublimation. And that here is what I'm seeing with this Kali Mahamaya. It's moving beyond the persona, the image, the mask. The mask came up in the pre-shuffle. What was it? It was pretty profound. It was the masks that we wear, something about the external expectations and what lies beneath the surface. And if it's meant to be, it'll come out. So we're at 19 minutes. Let's see if any of these archetypal images, symbols want to speak to us. I'm just taking it in. There's something else here. Bamboo Moon is about growth. Emerald Fountain is about nourishment. Amaryllis Lute about the rising vibration. But these are messages that we continue to receive. Power. So Pluto is pushing us to stand in our deepening, expanding power with greater awareness and greater perspective from the higher vibrational resonance. Our power to affect and influence goes up exponentially as well. The perfect storm is that when we've done this inner work, we become a very powerful instrument in the universe to affect things that are even unseen. So under the deck we have number 9, the Hunter. Interesting. Moving towards the light. I'm getting in the tarot the Knight card, the questing, the hunter, the quest. What are we seeking for in the light? In what popped out here, we have the box. What's that? 44. Okay. So the 44 card is the courage card here. The courage to step out of the eye of the storm where it's calm, where we have our shelter, the prayer, something we've been developing for quite a long time, wishing and hoping for some type of movement. We've been developing and cleansing, clearing, doing the healing, doing the sensitivity training. We've been doing it. We've been trying to stick up for ourselves. It's like, when is it going to shift? Well, it is. It's shifting now. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's like it takes a long time for the propeller to swing and to get the momentum. But once the momentum goes, it gains momentum more and more. The offering. So, okay. So we have 44, 45, and 64. There's something about contraposition. Is that the word? Because these Roman numerals always confuse me. We did have the 44 to the 45 again here. But look at the L and the X at the beginning of these numbers. Quantum leap. Yesterday we had 20, 40, 60 right in a row. It's like some type of a progression, some type of a an energy that stretches and reaches forth. It's something like tendrils of influence, or our electric activation coming through us, speaking through us, and then activating the heart spaces of others to be able and willing to do their own removal of their own mask. Under that is the sweat lodge. It's like there's this series of circumstances that we're dealing with where there's been varying levels of comfort with showing both our power and our potential, and however we fit into that is shifting and changing. So we've been praying for Spirit to give us a leg up, or to give us some type of insight here. And I believe what we're being told is it's in the asking. The asking is the offering. The fact that we're asking is evidence that it's underway. And the fact that we're aligned with better, even when we see what we're not asking for, it keeps on redirecting us. That's how we see this new pathway of higher growth, and moving away from challenging circumstances can also be moving away from the discomfort of previous habitual handling or behaviors. And even though before that was the least resistant thing we could do is fall into addictive patterning, now the least resistance is to circumvent those old energy leaks, those old ways of false compromise, and not standing in what we deserve, not gently putting the foot down and saying, no, that's not how we're going to do this. Yeah. Okay. Authority. I knew authority was there. The belief in our own authority is It's a process of our own healing that has been perhaps limiting our ability to be abundant, limiting our ability to reach and get what we think that we're here for. So it's like your offerings, even like, for instance, if like me, you've got your own messages, you're trying to find various platforms to share your message, just to help and assist and move things forward. But let's face it, at the end of the day, every energetic investment, it brings something back to us. There's always something coming back. And as long as we can take those blessings in and correct and flow and learn and continue to listen and to act, to receive, and then as we know better, we do better, then the offering starts to change shapes and forms. Then we're hearing the messages. So it doesn't need to be message, growth, 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 growth. It's like, okay, we've reached a threshold there where then we are lifting up the others. And it looks like in this case, we're searching also for the energetic exchange of something, either monetary or something that is a valuable resource that can be employed to seek what you're after, whatever it is that you are after, even if that's self-development or just reaching people. Yeah. So let's take this to a lighter note. Sometimes these are a little silly, but I think that that's what I'm in the mood for right now. Love in spite of it all. So there's a difficult circumstance that may have had us holding ourselves back from exposing or being vulnerable to being hurt, but keep loving despite the pain, and you will keep receiving love in return. Prepare to be astounded. Something huge is in the works. We've been hearing about it all this time. Yes, your treasure is at hand. Sure, you can always find prettier, handsomer, skinnier, wiser, richer, younger, zippier, but more often than not, one learns the most, laughs the loudest, and smiles the widest with those they've already found, especially when they stop looking elsewhere. Actually, zippier is on quite a few lists. Tally-ho, the universe. So this also, we've been talking about this in context of relationships, platonic or intimate, family or otherwise, karmic, dharmic. Whether you throw the experience away like, oh, that person's toxic, if you keep throwing them away before fully grasping the message, we attract the same message in a new body. And so if you're bored in a relationship, it's not about the partner. It's about the energy level needs to be reinvigorated and re-inspired. And we've talked about that a lot recently. You're being watched by loving eyes. So maybe you feel judged because of a previous experience of having been judged, but maybe the judgment that you're seeing is somebody that's like, wow, that individual has something. Maybe if I give this person this little tweak, this positive, constructive criticism, they'll do a lot with it, where if I gave it to that person who's an underachiever, they won't. So what if you're actually an ancient gladiator of love and joy, who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to spark some new thinking, share a few smiles, and help others discover they too are awesome? Just saying, the universe. P.S. Up for a joust, of course, with rubber thingies. All right, so we're talking about something like I'm rubber, you're glue. It's these childlike awareness of how other individuals are just doing their thing, and we're here to share better energy. Love is the reason. Each person in your life is there for a reason, and that reason always has something to do with love, like me, the universe. So stepping out of the box, closed thinking, saying that prayer to self today, step out of that comfort zone. Your prayers have been heard. Your healing is happening. It's underway. You're breaking through an uncomfortable layer that has held you back. This wall has this opening here, and you are right below that with the arrow. You're aiming straight for that opening to go beyond this wall that has obscured your view of what's coming for you. But prepare to be astounded. Send them love, send them peace, send them happy. See them happy. Everyone, always, forever. And prepare to be astounded. And oh man, will you ever become a big time manifester? So manifest well. Take care, you guys, and come back another time. Check out some more messages. Thanks, guys.